Hello. So Allie and I are now in Savannah. I got bit by a bug yesterday, so I'm hideous. But what I wanted to share was that we are going to be doing some work on the house, really for two reasons. One is to get it prepared to eventually sell at some point in the future, and the other is to make it more of a sacred space. And one of the big projects we're going to be doing is taking out all the flooring downstairs and just finishing the concrete that's there, which will make it nice and grounded to connect to Gaia and also just be really beautiful and look like, brand new flooring essentially throughout the house. So we're kind of going to be recording that process as we go along so you can see what it's all about. So here is the floor right now in the living room area. As you can see, there's just carpet, all kinds of carpet here, and then this has vinyl in the rest of the house at the moment. So what I'm going to start on doing now is pulling up this carpet, and then I'll just go step by step and record it, as we go and share the process. Also, I'll explain, why we're doing it, like the costs involved and kind of how we decided this. Just kind of share it all with you guys. So thanks. So here I've started pulling the carpet back. If anyone doesn't know, carpet's basically just attached with tack boards that hold it onto the concrete, and then there's just padding underneath it. You can see where this is actually taped to the other section of carpet. I don't know how many different rolls this is going to come apart in, but we'll see. This carpet has been here for about 12 years, and after about 10 years, carpet tends to weigh twice as much as it did because of all the gross crap that has accumulated over time. So getting rid of carpet's probably a pretty darn good idea. But this is what happens. So I'm gonna end up with all these rolls, of carpet that I'll just take out to the garage for now, and then we'll keep going from there. You can see there was like some water damage that occurred here. This house was new 12 years ago, like I mentioned, and so it's actually in pretty darn good shape given that it's been rented out, all the time. Bear! Quit it! Quit it, Bear. So, that's where we are so far. Alright, so now all the carpet is rolled up. You can see all that's left is the tack strips and the pad at this point, and the hole downstairs. Nasty carpet. Allie just yelled at me for the cat being down here. Well, maybe a little too enthusiastic. But the next thing we'll do is get this carpet into the garage, and then we'll get the pad all rolled up, which will expose all of the concrete floor, which is going to become the actual floor in the house. Hey, so we're taking a little break from that. We're on our way to Home Depot. I am in trouble for starting this project, but this is what inspired action is all about. You just take a leap and do it, and then stuff happens.
Talking to your wife.
Stuff happens, and you figure it out. So we're going to get masks because pulling up this carpet and pads, throwing up a decade worth of junk into the air. So now that's in my lungs, and I'm in trouble for that. Also. A little bit in Allie's lungs, but mostly not because she wasn't down there. So we're gonna get masks. We're gonna get a crowbar to help with getting those tack strips out of the ground. We're gonna get stuff to patch the concrete so that it looks really nice when we're all done. We're also probably gonna get a shop vac because that's needed throughout this process that we're gonna be working on. So that's what we're doing right now, and then we'll be back in the house working after that. Okay, so we finished our Home Depot shopping trip. We got 4 items. We got the masks to make Allie happy so we don't fill our lungs with nasty stuff that's been in the carpets and pad for the last decade. We got this Wonder Bar crowbar device to remove the tack strips and anything else we find to do with it. We got this heavy-duty bent chisel scraper. We're going to use this to help remove the linoleum. Just pry it up from the ground. We're going to cut it into strips and pry it up with this. We're also going to use this to take off our popcorn ceiling that looks like it's pretty crappily applied. We can probably scrape off with this. It has a screw off, and so you can hook a pole onto it So we're gonna also use it for that.
Hook a pole.
And then we got this 9-gallon wet dry vac, both to like clean up the whole area of the floor, because we're gonna be sanding the floor at one point. We're gonna be applying, wet stains and water to the floor that we have to vacuum up. So we're gonna be using this for a number of different things. We also found it was $20 cheaper online, so Universe hooked us up with a price match on that.
What?
And so this is what we're gonna use and go get back to work. All right, it's now quite a few hours later, but we have our masks. We've had our mostly raw vegan lunch, so we are energized and ready to roll. And I'll give you a little tour of where we are right now. All right, there's Allie coming to check on progress. You can see that all the padding is out. We got a nice big old crack in the foundation here, which we'll have to fill in. But yeah, this is we're almost to the last step for what we're going to do today. I'm going to use my new Wonder Bar and hammer to pry up these tack strips. Basically just sticking the Wonder Bar underneath of a strip and then hammering it on the back of it is my plan. So I'm going to work on that and see how that works to get all these out. And that is the next step. After that, we're going to actually have a lot of big holes in the floor that I've seen from other people that have shared, doing similar work. So I'll show you that. And then we'll be cleaning this up, and that'll probably be it for this first initial phase. And I think I'll be doing next is tackling this linoleum, which is probably going to be a much more difficult experience, but we will see. So this part of the project is coming along nicely, removing the tack strips and the bar that was holding the carpet over the top of the linoleum. This tool combination works great for this. Basically you're just aiming to get under each screw and move along, or each nail that's in the concrete. Just hammer that in, it pulls up and you just work along the strip that way, just moving down along it. And you'll see that on some of these, you'll have a small hole there, and in some cases like a pretty big hole. That happens when you remove the strips, but this is what will come back along and repair. And you have to be careful what you use, because if you're going to stain the floor, you want to make sure that whatever you put in the hole will actually work. There's a lot of like latex hole fillers, and obviously those won't stain like the regular concrete, and then you get all these holes all along the edges of your room. If you're going to paint the floor and then do a covering, because you can do that as well, then it probably doesn't matter. But we're going to do a little research on what's the right thing to fill these with so that they do stain and look really nice with the rest of the floor when it's done. So we will share that with you when we know what it is. All right, that is now done. It was definitely the most annoying and tedious part of the project thus far. It's not too bad, it's pretty loud, so I recommend some hearing protection. Definitely wear eye protection also. I didn't have that initially, but then I put it on as stuff started flying around. Listen to some music, that helps it go, but it's not too bad really. Here you can see what's left over. There was an area over here that was water damage, so what actually was happening was the board was so rotted it just came off, and the nails were still stuck in the ground, so I had to go back and pull the nails out, themselves. But usually the nails come up with the tack board, as you can see here. So it's really not too bad at all. Resist the temptation to pull up on a loose piece of tack board with your hand at all. I did that once, and because it's full of tacks, it stabbed me on the finger. So make sure you get them totally removed with your pry bar, and then you can move them with your hand. But yeah, so this is phase one, I would say, and now it's just clean up, take all the trash out, clean up the floor as much as we can, and we'll finish that up. I'll put this into a video today, and you'll be watching it. You are watching it now, in fact. So tomorrow I'll probably show you what the cleaned up floor looks like, and we'll go from there.